The podcast titled Biblical Series, Exodus Episode 1, Faith as an Adventure explores the significance and themes of the book of Exodus. The podcast begins by acknowledging the crisis in our culture due to ignorance of the Bible and emphasizes the importance of understanding its foundations. The scholars participating in the seminar introduce themselves and delve into the text of Exodus. The Israelites' journey to Egypt under the guidance of Jacob is discussed, and it is highlighted that their relationship with the Egyptians became strained after Jacob's death. The Egyptians enslaved the Israelites, subjecting them to hard bondage and reducing their potential. The Torah teaches that there are two forms of tyranny: external tyranny, represented by the Exodus, and internal tyranny, represented by the Ten Commandments. The Bible offers an alternative to various forms of tyranny and presents the possibility of holy freedom. The podcast explores the story of the Hebrew midwives who defied Pharaoh's order to kill male babies. It is emphasized that the fear of God is presented as the beginning of wisdom and a necessary condition for freedom. The midwives' refusal to carry out Pharaoh's command demonstrates their ability to see beyond the power given to them by Pharaoh. The Torah portrays non-Jews positively and Jews negatively, emphasizing ethical centeredness rather than ethnic centeredness. The midwives' act of civil disobedience is seen as the first example of standing against a crime against humanity. The problem of evil and the problem of good are discussed, with the emergence of human rights being seen as a response to the problem of evil. The podcast also explores biological studies on chimpanzees, which show that power is maintained through peacemaking and reciprocity rather than dominance and violence. The ethic of treating others as oneself is emphasized, and it is suggested that goodness can emerge from both material and spiritual aspects of life. The podcast delves into the concept of sacrifice and the willingness of individuals to sacrifice themselves for the greater good. The story of the sinking of the Titanic is used as an example, highlighting the contradiction between biological instinct for self-preservation and the higher ethical precept related to survival across time. The story of W. H. Jordan, who came to faith in God after witnessing the atrocities of the Nazi stormtroopers, is also shared to illustrate the realization that there is something that transcends pain, suffering, and cruelty. The story of Moses' birth and adoption by Pharaoh's daughter is explored, emphasizing the unexpected sources from which true lineage and identity can come. Moses' connection with water throughout the narrative is seen as symbolizing his mastery over chaos and transformation. The role of religious practices as intermediaries between individuals and the transcendent is discussed, highlighting the overwhelming nature of direct contact with the divine. The podcast emphasizes the power of compassion and the importance of choosing between having Pharaoh or God on one side. The story of Moses and the burning bush is analyzed, with the burning bush symbolizing the Jewish people, always burning, but never destroyed. The importance of humility and surrender in one's relationship with the divine is emphasized. Overall, the podcast explores the universal nature of morality, the power of compassion, and the need to transcend personal and societal limitations for a higher purpose. It delves into the themes and stories of Exodus, highlighting their significance and relevance to our lives today.